So knock on wood, if I could find some, it looks like everybody is healthy.
Ronald,
Ronald?
Ronald's got an ankle problem.
Oh, okay.
That was unfortunate one. So
When did
yeah,
that happen?
that happened during the break in one of the training sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he out for long term?
No, well, no, I don't know. I don't have a timeline on it, on that one. But yeah, it's
Okay.
so I don't have.
But he's the only one.
He's at the moment the only one.
Okay. So what was the focus of work during this break?
It was a bit tricky. We had obviously you had three guys away on international duty. We prioritized some guys playing with the second team. We sent quite a few guys there to get some game rhythm. And then the guys that were here, we were focused on like one, getting guys fully rested and healthy. If there was any kind of niggles or things like that, that we made sure that they were getting taken care of. And at the same time, we wanted to make sure we got some work into them. So focused a lot about just attacking, whether it was position specific stuff or it was things in a build situation. We had low numbers, which was great. I enjoy it. How much they love those when it's just like 8 to 10 guys in a session, but it gives us a lot of time to really spend more one-on-one time, or its player coach ratio is a little bit smaller, so you can more emphasis and more focus there. So we looked on little build patterns, final third stuff. That's been a big point of emphasis that we touched on, like just finalizing plays. That's the language we keep using, finalizing plays, and that's on both ends. So when we do any kind of defending stuff that we did throughout that week was about finishing tackles or finishing stopping plays there. So.
What worked well against Charlotte that is applicable to success against Nashville?
I thought there was a real collective understanding of the way we all played. In stretches, I think I look back on the game, my initial reaction. We weren't there post game, by the way.
I know.
Oh, it's okay. But
I won't be there any Labor Day.
But my reaction or my thought post game, I think even after watching it was pretty similar. That there was times where we attacked pretty well, there was times where we defended pretty well, and then there was a good chunk of the game where we had to suffer. After we did score the goal, something did change in the team a little bit. And I think when you're in a moment like we are, that maybe it was a little tense, or we stopped doing things that got us to that moment to get the goal or create the goal. I like the way that the players combined and moved off each other. The way we decided to play a little bit more direct, or where we decided to play through. Thought there were some good moments there. Again, still work in progress for sure, but there was some good signs there. It was a good. I mean, Alexi integrating to the team helps.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, so go on, ask now.
Now that you've seen him in some significant minutes, how can you use him to help the team get 3 points in as many games as possible?
Yeah, I think it's them getting used to him getting used to his teammates, getting used to the league and players he's playing against. I think you can see an impact that he does have on his teammates, and sometimes it's not direct. It's not a. And this is what I was telling you guys about him. He's a different type of player, so sometimes you might not see him actually on the ball, whether it's facilitating for his teammates. You might see him be just in a good space that occupies an opponent, and then eventually maybe in 3 passes, then he ends up with the ball, or he ends up with a pass that helps link the play. He's got really good understanding of space and teammates and where they're moving. So that integration process has been quick, and it has to be at this moment of the season.
Right. There's been a major change in the front office with Carlos's departure since we've last spoken. How do you handle that and approach with the team? Because that is a major move. And how does it affect your dynamic as a manager? Because we talk to you all the time, say, talk to Carlos about this, or I'll refer to Carlos about that. How does this new setup really impact you personally? And then how do you help the team get through this?
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's been like this when there's any change. So you've got these emotions that you deal with, and for me, it's sadness. I worked with Carlos for a long time, got a great personal relationship with him. I never want to normalize this part of it. I know that everyone says, yeah, this is part of the business and it's normal. He probably might say the same. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling when you have working relationships or even in personal relationships with people that happens. So I don't love normalizing that and say, oh, it's just part of the business. It is. That's true. but I have a conversation with him, and he's rooting for us. I know that's for sure. Behind the scenes, he did everything he can to help us in those moments. And at the end of the day, too, is like I have seen things like this happen, and so now it's about how we can move forward collectively. It's not about dismissing what happened. I've talked about before. As soon as I did take over, it was about the shared ownership, shared success. So that's the one thing that I would say that I love being part of a team, is that that doesn't just rest on one person, doesn't rest on one player, one other staff member. So it's a collective that we have to improve the team and push forward. So yeah, I had my feelings with Carlos, and I wish him well in everything that he goes and does. He was really helpful for me in a lot of different ways, and his family is some people I care about. So I wish him well in all those adventures. But now moving forward, the group is, and my job is, my focus has to always be on the group. So now I move forward with the people that are here, and whether that's the team and the front office staff members that now I work with.
When you look at Nashville, it's a little bit different than they've been over the years, and they're kind of in that process of changing. Does that make it more difficult in game planning on your end?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of a sample size to see what BJ has done as he's come in and try to implement some different things. There's the understanding of who the players are. We've seen a lot of them in this league. There's familiarity from players in our locker room who know those personalities and what those players can bring. You can definitely see that they are trying to change things, and that's going to happen when you have a new coach that comes in. So it's about getting the, whether it's the analysis or the data set of what they do well and what they are trying to improve, and where we can kind of exploit those areas.
How much do you think these 2 weeks have really helped Alexi kind of blend in more and get more comfortable?
That's a good question for him. I would hope a lot. I mean, just the familiarization of whether it's off the field, finding a place to live, just understanding where grocery stores are, just little things that maybe you just don't think about. That familiarization and making sure he adapts really, really quick. I think that part's really important. I've touched on that a lot with him and all the players about the personal side of things, what they are like as people. That there's a lot of that. We spend 2 hours, 3 hours with them here. So there's a lot that we can get into, but at the end of the day, he's got to go live his life differently in a new country, different things that are happening around him. So that part is really important, how him and his wife adapt here. So he's had that time. At the same time, he's had time to train, get to know his teammates more. He comes to work every day with a smile on his face, so I hope we can keep that going, and he understands that this is an important part of the season. So I also think that getting him to flip into the mode of like, all right, 7 games left, 1 game at a time, and really push us over this line here.
There's still, with 7 games left, a lot to be settled in the standing, especially where you guys are. Is it too early, because there are still 7 games, to kind of be focusing on that? These games have a playoff feel as far as what we have to get results and get wins. Or how do you approach each of these games now, knowing where you guys are in the standings and kind of what's at stake?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it all along, and it's the way I feel you should look at things, that whether it's at the beginning of the season or towards the end or in the middle, that outcome is always the same for us. We always want to win and we get 3 points. And I think that if you have that importance, or you stress that importance all the way through, that with throughout the league in the middle of the season, you drop a point here, it matters at the end. So I know that now. I can't control what's happened in the past. Now I can only focus on the game we have. We want to get 3 points on the weekend, and that we know will have implications of whatever the standings will be. But if I focus on the standings right now we're on the outside looking in, but we didn't even play a game. We just won the last one, and now all of a sudden, like, we're rewarded with not being in it. So I can't let that sway our decisions and how we are. I try to stay really consistent with the players, intentional about what we do and what we say. The outcome is always we want to win and get 3 points, and that won't be any different now. And focusing on 1 game at a time will be really important in a time like this, where there'll be 3 games in a week, and so there is a short period of time and you have to think about that. But at the same time, if I've said it all along, if you lose focus of what you got right in front of you, you will miss the moment. Good.